The year 1914, and all hope seems dire. The forces of hell reach closer and closer to their goal of taking over everything, while the holy soldiers with the Iron Sultanate, New Antioch, and the Trench Pilgrims do their best to fight this horde back. All hope seems dire. But you know what's more dire? Your bank account. All these losers are out here fighting for these grandiose external reasons when you could be fighting for a real reason. That bread. Simply put, you could be working for Mammon, the Prince of Greed, the Grand Treasurer of Hell. I did, and I'm a brand new man. I'm in a new tax bracket. I got so much money, I don't even know what to do with it. I was flipping bricks for Mansa Musa before y'all were even a Type 1 civilization. This shit ain't nothing to me, man. I don't give a fuck if I go blind. I don't need to see the price tag. Just a second, I put that in here as like a funny, actually kind of relevant bit, and then I'm also now standing here like, man, I would love Mammon Dracula flow, Mammon flow. We're smoking straight Masyaf assassin blood kush. If I can make just one impact on the Trench Crusade community, or really want to, I don't care to make impact on communities I kind of part of, but this is the one I would make an exception for. If some people out there are more talented, artists, writers, whatever, and y'all do some Mammon flow, like bars or art, whatever, I will like shout you out in a video. I feel like it's a long shot, but tag me on Twitter if you do it. So bringing this back into Trench Crusade and Earth, Mammon is the archdevil of greed, is the one who sits at the seat of greed for the court of the 7 deadly serpents. Each seat, of course, represents each of the 7 deadly sins. And this is like a really quickly rotating cast. It is incredibly rare for any demon to sit on that seat for a long period of time, because they have to be considered the strongest demon in the area for that sin. There are like 2 exceptions that we know of, which are also the 2 most fleshed out, like archdevils. We have Beelzebub, who, all accounts, he should be gluttony. He should be sitting on that seat. The difference is Beelzebub thinks all this politics shit is cringe, and the other one is Mammon. Mammon has been sitting on like the seat of greed for a really long time. Stupidly long, untold years and millennia, because he's just the best. He's the best demonic capitalist. And this position is really for good reason. He gets up to a lot. Like every other greater demon, Mammon himself cannot leave hell. Mammon is described as a golden-skinned regal figure sitting on a throne surrounded in wealth, but his like golden nature is tarnished with black scorch marks. Of course, he reaches his influence to the lives of mortals. The big one that actually is playable are the Knights of Avarice, his own warband. We'll get to them later. But also just mortals. You can align yourself with Mammon, and in fact, he's like the most popular patron to pick. Which I mean, makes sense. I feel like everybody wants to pursue that money, but also it is that constant sin of pursuit of money and wealth despite the consequences and despite who you kick down on the way. Which this isn't even my words I'm extrapolating. I'm using the words of Thomas Purin from the Discord. This answer is in response to a question about the Heretic Legions and what's their day-to-day lives, where yeah, it is all about the all-consuming greed, and there's a lot of people as in 90% of merchants and bankers and anybody who really is around money a lot. Yeah, this is another tidbit I found, but like, it's good to keep in your head. 1/3 of humanity are like Satanists. They're aligned with hell. And the big difference, I think, because this number is very high, there's the aspect that they could be serving him unknowingly, which I imagine makes up a larger chunk. And then as you go like farther and farther down in that greed and that corruption, that's when you start doing it willingly. But enough about those boring regular mortals. Let's talk about his warband, the Knights of Avarice, who are the ones who actually build the hordes of Mammon by committing war crimes, by committing horrific war crimes. All their weapons, the nicest. All their armor, the finest. They're the type of dudes to go out and get something custom made because it's a one of a kind, therefore it's worth more. They show off this wealth extravagantly, all golden clad, with a bit of tarnish, of course, wearing the finest furs and silks as they move in to kill you. The way they do this is with blunt weapons like hammers and clubs, because they don't want to actually break skin easily, and they don't want to like sever your head, because what if you bleed on all the nice shit? Because as they kill whatever warband or group, they are scrounging literally everything with a price tag. They are trying to find any little detail, any little thing that can make money. Because of this, they also hate explosive weaponry. They hate anything that uses fire or shrapnel, anything that really explodes. They prefer gas weapons. This is where I'm talking about the war crimes bit. And after they do that, they're magpies, like I've said. They scrounge everything. It's important to remember the land's controlled by Hell. There's a little tidbit mentioned about the Heretic Legions, talk about the flesh markets. So yeah, they do like skin people and send off organs to be sold. And as of right now, their main staging ground is like Egypt. Funnily enough, we now have a map so we can directly see the area Mammon is going into, and he's staged in. This is like his headquarters right here. His plan is to move more to like Ethiopia. He wants to get to Central Africa because there's a lot of riches there that he wants. He's mainly fighting against the expeditionary forces of New Abyssinia, which they are doing their absolute damnedest to keep Mammon out of their land. They have two things that Mammon wants. This group considers themselves to be the descendants of King Solomon and Queen Sheb. On one end, they have these famous gold mines of Sheb, and Mammon wants it. He wants to completely strip mine and deplete those resources. And on the other end, Axum is claimed to be the location of the Ark of the Covenant, which funny enough is also where a group in Ethiopia, Axum, also claims to have the Ark of the Covenant. A bit of a parallel there. Mammon wants both of these because he just wants it. He is all-consuming greed, and he's never going to be satisfied. To make it even worse, the expeditionary forces, their big thing is they go out, fight against Mammon, and they also get a lot of money. And then, it's hard to even say, they give it away. Disgusting, I know. The actual practice for Mammon's warband is deeply, deeply religious. So it's really, really less of a thing where they just want money, they just want a bigger paycheck. They have a compulsion to increase their hoard. And Mammon will never be pleased, so he demands his followers to keep going. But it really paints like what happens if Hell wins. We're gonna have a bunch of people with these like all-consuming vices that are controlling everything, and I think Earth would be destroyed in that process too. The war won't end, it just humans might not be part of that war. Of course, the Knights of Avarice are playable, and to be completely honest, they are so fun. I want to kind of play them. I'm going to paint my Heretic Legion as guys. They sound super sick because first, right off the bat, you do have to ally yourself with Mammon, which there are patron rules. Mammon gives you a lot of fun abilities, like just paying ducats for things, which ducats are the resource you're using for like list building and constructing your army and what your soldiers are actually wearing. And the game is constructed to be played in like sequential order. You have your main warband that is growing and getting better and better. It's like Crusade mode for people who have done Crusade mode 40k. And Mammon gives you a lot of very fun abilities, like you can pay to cheat or to just warp how something works. As well, the penalties, I guess. Every single unit and model has to be over 80 ducats, which I'm gonna say is a lot. So you have to make sure your actual soldiers are fitted with the finest things. Also, you're not allowed to have any death commandos, which, a shame, they're very cool, but they're made by the demon Baruth, and Mammon hates them. But you can bring Goetic Warlocks, because they are made by Mammon, apparently. This is the first I've heard of this. You just have to read rules text and you'll find out cool lore. Also, they have some very, very fun relics. I really like the Tarnished Armor. The Tarnished Armor is beautiful gold armor, and I imagine it's literally just this one. The one piece of art that we have of this warband. This armor is so nice, so great, and infused with greed, so anybody seeing it wants it. What it actually means in rules-wise, you can declare a charge if a model is 12 inches away from you. If the Tarnished Armor Bearer is in that 12 inches and you're declaring a charge, you have to charge him. Or the Golden Calf Altar, which is, yeah, calf altar, which yeah, I think is the altar we're all thinking of when it comes biblically. But this altar makes it difficult terrain around it, and you can just carry it around, drop it at locations, so it's tactically helpful. But yeah, like that is the Knights of Avarice and Mammon. Honestly, there's a surprising amount of info on him. I am also hoping for more archdevils to drop as more factions get included. There's some hell-aligned factions that I know are in the works from what they've talked about, so I'm excited to see any other demonic characters they introduce. But yeah, that's gonna be it. So if you like this, like, comment, subscribe, that stuff. And of course, huge shout out to my channel members who make all these videos possible. I greatly appreciate it. And a bigger shout out to my top tier channel members, Robbie Beckmeyer, Ultra Mega Jesus, and Czar Shadow. Absolute legends, all of you. I am super thankful. I at least am using the money for good instead of just hoarding it. But anyways, that's it. See ya.